Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I am your host Armando Venditti. I'm joined by Bill Schuster, and nope, no makeup this time. We are back to normal, whatever normal is. You
Hmm.
know, um, how you doing, Bill?
Uh, I don't know if normal's the word, but doing well. I don't think I'm ever truly normal.
I
Who
don't
knows what?
think it,
Yeah, exactly. Who knows what normal is?
I don't think
This
anybody's ever.
band is not normal. They never were, and that's awesome. So,
Exactly. You know, what the hell is normal? Normal is relative, right? Give me a break. I mean, geez. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell from Bill's background, we are going to have a fun episode this time. No ranking of the albums, none of that. We are doing our top 10 deep cuts of Queen. And as I stated in the videos advertising this, there are going to be no greatest hits mentioned, no Bohemian Rhapsody, no Under Pressure, none of that. This is all deep cuts. Peter Kent could not join us, unfortunately, for this episode due to a personal situation. So we're thinking of you, Peter. But we just decided to have fun with this, right? So we each picked our 10 deep cuts, and we each have, I think, one or two honorable mentions. So, we're just going to have fun with it, guys. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Bill, and he can start with his number 10.
all right. I have a definite number one, but beyond that, the rest is just kind of random, no particular order.
Yeah.
So, should we save our top for the last, or just start out with the bang?
I think we could go from 10 to 1.
Okay, then I'll
Yeah.
move on down to the next one and come back.
There we go.
I'll go. The first one um, is from an album that I ignored for years, pretty much, as
Mhm.
did most people, other than the hit that was added onto the album, Under Pressure. But there was a commercial uh, that was constantly on YouTube recently that featured a young girl dressed like Freddie Mercury in his classic yellow and black, and she
Yeah.
had a mustache.
Yeah.
And talking about normal stuff here, it perfectly fits with what is normal. Was she normal? Who cares? You know what? She's in this commercial. This girl was portrayed as someone who just was herself and absolutely just was digging the music and was obviously a fan of Freddie, and that's awesome. And the song is Cool Cat.
Mhm.
This song, for whatever reason, it never really got my attention until this year. So, hey, thanks for that commercial for inundating me with it nonstop. And just, I think it's just such a cool, fun song.
Yeah.
It's got this just this casual, not quite rockabilly vibe, but almost. And yeah, it's awesome. There's nothing over the top about it.
Yeah.
There is
Very.
no
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody kind of thing here. It's
Mhm.
and then it's nice to do that. And I found it the credit interesting in that it's John Deacon, Freddie Mercury co-write,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
And
is
yeah, those are the only two that are on the track, actually. Yeah. Because he actually plays guitar. John Deacon plays guitar on the track. Um, yeah, that commercial's been on Canadian television also. And I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, what is this thing about? Like, really? Okay, so yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah,
And
that song of all things. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and coincidentally, David Bowie. So you were mentioning Under Pressure.
Mhm.
Um, they were Bowie actually did background vocals on that track, but at the very last minute, like the record was sent to uh like to be pressed, and he called the Queen offices and said, please take my vocals off the track. I don't like it. So at the very last minute, at the 11th hour, uh they had to stop it and take the vocals off and redo everything and just that one on the track and just press it that way. But yeah, that's all right. No, it's a good track. It's funky. It's a funky track. It's very laid back, right? It's you're right. It's not over the top. And by the way, guys, the fact that these tracks may appear like on the lower part of the list doesn't mean we don't like them or love them any less. It's just the way it is. So there you go.
Just to piggyback on that statement,
Yeah,
with some exceptions, these are not even necessarily my 10 favorite Queen deep cuts. Some of them are just ones I thought needed to get a little extra attention for whatever
yeah.
reason.
Oh yeah, I got you. I got you. Um, my number 10, guys, is Bijou from Innuendo. Um, I you know, um, when I first got this album, I played the shit out of it to the point where there was a certain part in Bijou that skipped. I played it so much. I love the guitar on it. It's basically it's guitars and keyboards, swirling keyboards and guitars intermingled. Great guitar solo from May. Um, and the vocals are just, one little paragraph from Freddie, talking, singing about his cat. You know what I mean? Very emotional, very beautiful guitar work. Fantastic. So yeah, that's my number 10. Bijou.
Yeah, that when I was listening to that earlier today, uh, Bijou really struck me the way Brian was channeling David Gilmour. That
Yeah,
just wow.
yeah.
It was kind of
Because,
weird. If you had a different vocalist, I would have been convinced it was a latter day Pink Floyd song.
yeah, I can see that because I mean, it's at one point the guitars swell around you. It's like, like if you listen to it on the set of good speakers, stereo speakers, it's almost like the guitars envelop you, like you're surrounded by them because they just come up really rich and thick and just really textured. I always use that word these days, but it's the only way I can describe it, right? So yeah, no, that's my number 10. So
All right. I'm going to, let's see, we'll go back in time a little here. Um, this one leads off my second favorite Queen album, Jazz.
go
This
on.
is another Freddie song. Oh, come
Oh
on,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Mustafa, baby, Mustafa. I love this song. This song kicks. It's a rocker. The vocals are just maybe the fact that Freddie is not singing in English adds something extra to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just kind of cool. And I just really musically, this song kicks ass.
Oh yeah.
It's I know
And your birds
without
like it too.
who does.
Your birds.
Oh yeah, can you hear that? Good job, guys. Good taste.
There you go. There you go. Love you guys.
Yeah, this has always been this is actually probably a top 10 Queen song for me. So
Yeah.
that's how much I like this song. Of course, I'd say that about now, as I've said before, I have like 20 top 10 Queen songs. So
Yeah, exactly. Right.
yeah, that's right now they're yeah. I don't know. Never mind. That's I thought I had something more to say, but I don't necessarily. That's just a an awesome song. The lyrics I don't have to understand all the lyrics because they sound awesome with the music and
Yeah.
wonderful stuff.
Yeah. I even remember hearing that as a kid. I was just getting into the greatest hits, and my brother-in-law had a copy of Jazz on cassette, and he just played the first few bars of Mustafa, and it was like, I was like, what the hell is this? Like the acapella intro. And he just, pardon my language, he fucking soars
Yes, he
with that
does.
vocal. It's just like, are you fucking kidding me here? You can tell I like Queen, right? Anyways,
That
uh,
messed me up the first time I heard any bit of that I remember, I know my parents had the album when I was a kid. I was like 11, 10 or 11 when Jazz came out. But
Yeah.
um, the first that I actively remember hearing any part of it was on Live Killers. And of course, that wasn't the whole song. That was
Yeah, that
just,
was just an yeah, like almost like a and yeah, that was like just an intro. But just to note, that track was featured in the set list um on that tour. So people were asking him at that point in the concert to sing Mustafa, like to do it again. So he just did the intro on it, right? But yeah, yeah. I know a little shit. I know little bits and little tidbits like that, right? So it's like, oh, that's good. That I mean, that's fantastic. You never mind. I won't even go there. um, I'm just gonna preface that by saying this is the no repeat weekend for Queen. Okay, so I'll explain that in a sec. My number nine, ladies and gentlemen, we must continue, ladies and gentlemen, is from the game. It's Dragon Attack. Um, Second track on the album follows Play the Game. This for me is a combination of rock and funk. I mean, that bass line and the drums that come in that like together, just keeping it in the pocket and just nailing it down, like just like, you know, amazing. And the fact that he just may just rocks out towards the end and beautiful. And the whole track, even the percussion overdub and like, you know, I don't know when, like I'm like a third way through the track, whatever, but it's just amazing. And Freddie's vocals, he's white hot, you know, the way he delivers. Um, it's it's funk, it's rock, and it was a good sign as to where they were going with Hot Space. But I think, yeah, no, that's my number nine. It's just an amazing piece of work. It's a tour de force in terms of a 4 minute rock track, so funk rock track. So yeah, that's my number nine.
my little tidbit to add on that. I just think it's cool that that's a Brian song, and Brian wasn't necessarily embracing that direction in the way that Freddie and John were.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of yeah, you're right. I was surprised too when I read the credits, but given the guitar work that he did, I mean, it's like holy shit, you know. And the fact that it kind of everything just comes together in one big, beautiful, loud, you know, um, I guess you'd say like a finale, and then it sort of like peters out quietly, and then all you hear on the end is the bass line, and it just stops dead, and like beautiful. Oh, just I'm getting goosebumps as I talk about it. So it's like I'm a Queen fan, guys. Forgive me. So yeah, that's my number nine, Dragon Attack.
Well, all right. Since you're already talking about the game, I'm going to court controversy. Um, you know where I'm going, I bet.
I think so. I think so.
You and I were on another Queen show many months ago on Ryan Gavalier's channel, and when we were talking about this album, I think I made everyone speechless when I spoke positively of "Don't Try Suicide." No one else on that panel agreed with me. Um, and if you don't mind, I'd like to make this a twofer. Do number 8 and number 7
Do
together
whatever you want. Yeah.
because they're connected. Okay. Musically, I think "Don't Try Suicide" is awesome. It just sounds cool. The bass is the dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just got a little yeah stuff. That's just great. It's a lot of fun musically.
And the
It's
hand
all over the
claps.
place.
Yeah.
The lyrics, I think, are probably the main thing that people have problems with.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a. I have said before that in our family we deal with serious situations using dark humor and kind of taking the sting away by mocking certain things that could
Yeah.
hurt us otherwise, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, I think Freddie was a little confused with some of the lyrics. There's a few odd lyrics here that don't necessarily make sense to me. But of course, Freddie also said before that he didn't necessarily write music or lyrics that made sense, that he kept them deliberately vague. So who knows? He may have just been taking the piss out of everybody and everything here. But if it seemed like he was mocking people who had suicidal thoughts,
Mm.
I think the lie is put to that by my next song from the works, Keep Passing the Open Windows.
Yeah, that's sort of seen as a companion to Don't Try Suicide.
Yeah, see, I mean, the hold right there in the line, keep passing the open windows, look on the bright side of things, don't jump out of
Don't
those
do it.
windows.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. And it's a very positive message completely, and keep passing the open windows. So if there was any lingering doubt about what message he was trying to convey and don't try suicide with his awkward lyrics, I think keep passing the open windows clarifies it quite nicely.
Yeah. Just believe, just keep passing the open windows.
Yeah, that's just such a joyful, feel good song, and just a strong message all throughout. So
Yeah. Yeah. And just to piggyback on that, to talk about Don't Try Suicide, yes, okay. In relation to the tracks on the album, on the rest of the album of the game, maybe it can be considered as not as strong as the other tracks, but the message behind it is don't try suicide, because
yeah,
in the end, you're the one that's going to lose. You're the one that's losing out. We lose you, but yes, you're the one that's losing out overall. And in the end, people will move on eventually. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
don't do it. We want you here. Do you know what I mean? So we want you with us. So yeah, okay. So that's your number 8 and 7.
yep.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my 8 and 7 as well.
Okay,
Ladies and gentlemen, my number 8 is from an album that some people say it's weak. Some people say it's strong. Some people say it's somewhere in the middle. My number 8 is "Was It All Worth It" from the the Miracle. Uh, Final track on the album, a Freddie Mercury composition, one of the heaviest tracks on the album, if not the heaviest track on the album. Blistering guitar, heavy drums, bloody hell, just amazing. Um, Fantastic guitar solo. And it's, as John Deacon would say in an interview with Mike Reed on BBC, it's a semi-autobiographical track. Has a semi-autobiographical feel to it. And the lyrics are just basically saying that, everything that he's done in his life, was it worth the pain and the suffering, to achieve all that they achieved? And in the end, he's screaming into the mic, it was worth it. Um, I think it's just a fantastic track. I've always loved it. I think I think it gets a bad rap because uh the other songs that were released as singles in North America really didn't do well. The album didn't do well in North America. I think it went up to like 49 on the charts, on the Billboard charts. But I think it's a fantastic, heavy fucking song. I'm going to swear a lot this episode. My number 7. You took my first pick.
oh,
From number 7. But I'm going to pick another track from the album. The Ends Upside One. Let me entertain you.
nice.
Okay. Freddie composition. I'm going to preface this by saying, guys, I love jazz. I love the album. My only complaint, if it is a negative critique, is for me, the drum tracks on some of the tracks, like Let Me Entertain You, are not strong. They're not really prevalent. You know what I mean? And the band, when they talk about the album, would say the same. Like it's not the best work that they've done. I love the track. I love the way it starts with the bass and the piano, and then double how John Deacon does the double run of the on the bass, and then it starts, and Freddie Mercury does a fantastic job on the vocal, over the top, very on point, even with lyrics like I'll pill you, Aquila de Vilio,
That's an awesome
Corolla
line.
de Vilio. To thrill you, I'll use any device. Okay. Who in the hell would use a lyric like I'll pull you, I'll pill you, Aquila de Vilio? Okay. Like, come on. I mean, and it's an amazing track, and it would be featured in their live set list up until around 1982, and then it was dropped. But bloody hell, just great guitars, and it's a good. It was it was a good heavy track, and it was a good way to end off side one on jazz. So yeah, that's my number 7. So moving up to number 6.
Yeah, those are both great picks. I can't argue with those.
Yeah,
I'll say, was it all worth it? Just quick, I think
yeah.
it stands out because it doesn't have the late '80s almost robotic sound that some of the other tracks had. So many before that, so it really jumps out after. Which, yeah.
Yeah, like with songs like My Baby Does Me,
Mhm.
which is besotted with uh drum treatments and it's just a balls to the wall rock track. You know what I mean? So um we must move on, guys. So,
All right. Let's see. Well, as long as we're talking about love it or hate it, bizarre lyrical couplets, I'm going to go with one of my all-time favorites. I momentarily thought about this not being considered a deep cut
yeah.
because everyone who has seen the Bohemian Rhapsody now knows about this song because they poked fun at it in the movie and poked fun at poor Roger Taylor, who absolutely did not deserve it. The song is I'm in love with my car. And the lyric I'm thinking of in particular, that is one of my all time favorite lyrics, is told my girl I'd have to forget her, rather buy me a new carburetor. To me, that's right there with Cruella de Vil. That's
Oh yeah. Oh
they're
yeah.
a perfect pair. Who rhymes that? No one. No one but
Yeah.
Queen. These guys are ridiculous. They're great. So yeah, and the song rocks. It's just
Oh
it's a killer
yeah.
song. But
It's
Roger
heavy
always
as
rocks. I mean
it's
that
heavy as hell. Yeah.
yeah, you can always count on Roger. He gets forgotten a lot by casual Queen listeners,
A lot.
but this man is the foundation of this band. He is rock solid, and yeah, he kicks ass. He could just be a straight up metal player if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
And
I'm in love with my car.
number 6, that's perfect. I mean, and just a little side note, do and this was a real big bone of contention, especially with Brian May, that when I'm in love with my car was the B-side to Bohemian Rhapsody. So when Bohemian Rhapsody made as much money that it did, due to a flaw in I guess you call it a flaw in the royalties in the contract, Roger Taylor made just as much money as Freddie Mercury did on the sale of the single. So that was a bit of a bone of contention with Brian May because, as he put it, who listens to the B sides? You know what I mean? So, um, yeah,
A
no,
little bit
that's
of
a good
Roger's
pick.
revenge.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good pick. No, it is Roger's Revenge. My number 6, ladies and gentlemen, is from a fantastic album. Um, it's late.
Oh, spoiler alert! That was my number one. I'm gonna X that out now.
Okay. Um, the, it's late from News of the World from 1977. This it clocks in at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Um, it's just a fantastic rocker. I mean, you can just from the sound of the production, you can just hear or just feel the fact that they're all in the same room together, laying down the basic track and just going at it, just playing the shit out of this thing. The drums are heavy, the guitars are just massive. Again, Freddie Mercury delivering the vocals is just beautiful. I'm sorry, just a masterstroke in the way he delivered the vocals, and the fact that it's set up in three scenes, scene one, two, and three, and you know I like how it starts because you hear him strumming on the guitar, sort of like trying to find, okay, is this the key? Is this what? All right, here we go, and then it just kicks in into, I guess you'd say, octaves or like full volume, like there, with the guitars and stuff. And my dog just barked. I think Nina likes it too. So
So good taste.
yeah, it, and then at the very end, when they just go up, up for the vamp, like for the very end, they all just kick into overdrive, and then Roger Taylor on the drums is just pounding away, right? And it's amazing. It's an amazing piece of work. This was released as a single in North America after We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. It was edited down to 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, can you answer this question for me in the comments down there? How in the hell do you take an opus like this piece of music, and you guys out there who've listened to it, you know what the hell I'm talking about? How can you edit this down to 3 minutes and 30 seconds and have it make any type of sense? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And it's for that reason alone. It was released as a single without the band's permission. And I've said this before. Brian May has vowed that that single will never be heard ever again. He pulled it from circulation, and he said it will never be heard again in his lifetime or thereafter. So there you go. So yeah, that's my number 6.
You'd think that the record company would have learned after they fought them on Bohemian Rhapsody, and then that song in its full length was such a massive success.
Yeah,
That
yeah. Well,
record executives, what the hell do they know? Yeah, God.
that was the issue that they had with Elektra in the US, was that, and I'm not, because they were signed to Elektra in Japan as well and in Australia. I'm not sure if they had issues with them in the other territories, but the issues with Elektra in North America was that when they released singles without their permission, and they hated that.
Yeah, I
So
can imagine.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, that's my number 6, guys. I'm sorry to be long-winded, but there you go.
Hey,
Um,
like I said, that was my number one pick that I was saving toward the end here. But that, I mean,
sorry,
really, this may not, it might not only be my favorite Queen deep cut, it might be my favorite Queen song, period.
it's late.
Yes, I
Really?
absolutely love this song. I mean, when I played it, you said your dog was enjoying it there. Even though I know this song so well and I didn't really need to test it when I was playing around earlier, listening through the catalog,
Mm.
my dogs, the birds, my granddaughter, and my wonderful wife Stacy all got to hear the song 3 times
It's
because
late.
it's that awesome.
You
I
played
love
it.
that song so much. I mean, I was just, I mean, I'm an emotional guy anyway. Music hits me,
You are, yeah.
but yeah, this, my God, when the chorus kicks in, especially when their choral vocals come in, it's late, and Freddie just, and I'm bleeding deep inside. Oh my God,
Oh,
it just,
God, yeah.
yeah, just the waves of emotion just taking me over. It's like, and it's not even necessarily about the lyrics, it's just the way they put the song together.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just a sonic masterpiece. It's a wow.
yeah.
And I love the way it goes. It, yeah, it's like you're talking about being in 3 parts. I love the way, yeah, that starts out slower and then they go double time and get, yeah, just rock out and then come back down again.
Yeah,
And yeah, obviously, all the hardcore Queen fans should know and love this song. But
it should.
for
And
the casual listener that may be out there, check out It's Late.
please, please do check it out.
Okay, let me see.
So I guess we're at what, number 5 now, or you're number
Yeah,
6?
my number five.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. So let me. Well, I'll go ahead and stay. I'll wait till the end to hit my alternate list. I'll go to one of my four remaining on the main list here.
Hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and, well, I gave some love to Roger last time. Let me stay with Roger for this one.
Okay.
I'm going to this album right here,
Yeah.
which is my favorite Queen album, the debut. There's a song called Stone Cold Crazy, which is obviously not what I'm picking, which Metallica covered, and it's famous, oh, this is the birth of thrash or whatever.
Yeah.
Anybody that says Stone Cold Crazy is where this band started rocking hard, have you heard Modern Times Rock and Roll,
I
the Roger
know.
Taylor
I
song from the
know.
debut? Like I said, Roger is a rocker, and he proves it here. This thing kicks hard.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And his vocal, Roger's vocal, the man does not get the credit. I mean, you're in a band with Freddie, I get it, but my God, he can wail when he wants to. And he can get higher than Freddie when he wants to.
He
That's
could
not
have
to
hit.
take anything from Freddie because I absolutely adore that man's, but Roger, man, Roger. Wow.
Yeah. No, I
And
agree with him.
yeah, I love the little echoey ending on it too. That modern times rock and roll.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The way they treated it. Oh my God, yeah.
And it's
Um,
just a short, hard hitting song. And yeah,
blistering,
yes,
blistering. Like bloody hell. I mean, like, I'm getting emotional thinking, like, my God, right? Um, you're right. I think Roger Taylor doesn't get enough credit, and he should get a lot of credit. What he contributed to the band, and in terms of vocally, he could hit those F sharps like no one's business. Um, Unreal. Okay, for my number 5, we are going to stick with Queen debut with the debut. Great King Rat.
oh yeah,
Have the guitars come in slowly. They kind of build, and then Brian hits that. What'd you cross off?
great king rat.
Okay, well, back to what I'm saying. Back to the program. How it kind of builds with the guitars. They sort of come in, and then Brian hits that chord. And it just and then the drums kick in, almost like a galloping kind of rhythm that they do. And the lyrics are basically biblical in sort of nature, but they're basically talking about an SOB who deserved to die. He had some, that really was not um, a really, well liked individual, and how it goes into the 3 different sections, and then it goes has the acoustic part, and then it kicks back into the hard rocking part, and then how it ends on a drum solo, like on a drum pattern, right? And it fades out. Fantastic, fantastic. um Freddie at this time was, according to Roger Taylor, the most prolific of the songwriters in the band, and with Brian May being a close second, right? um he just came up with these ideas just on the fly, and I think it's a fantastic, just a beautiful song. I mean, it rocks out, um, has very interesting, time signatures, and just very complex. That's the thing about the Queen tracks on the earlier albums. They would go off into various different time signatures and very different avenues, right? But you went along for the ride because you loved it, right? If you haven't heard the debut Queen album, listen to it,
Oh,
please. And again, put your comments down there, down below. So number 5 is Great King Rat.
yeah. Yeah, very nice. I love that. Love that song.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
it's one of the things that that always puts a smile on my face is thinking, Brian's the rocker in the band, supposedly Brian and Roger, and yet there's so many of these songs like Great King Rat that were hard rocking songs that were written by Freddie. People don't necessarily think of Freddie as a hard rock guy, but he wrote some of their hardest rocking songs too.
yeah. Like, was it all worth it? It was written by Freddie Mercury,
Yeah,
right? So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, that's all right. Yeah, as long as we're on the debut, I'll go for the other one of the three songs that I had as possibilities here. My Fairy King, another Freddie song, which follows up Great King Rat on the album, so it's appropriate.
yeah,
This is one of those weird little Queen songs that's kind of all over the place. It's almost like a mini opera, but well before Bohemian Rhapsody sort of thing, which is more evidence that really Queen was almost born fully formed. They this
yeah,
debut in these songs, they're like a certain other band named Rush that I won't mention. They get accused of their debut being a Led Zeppelin clone, and I think in both cases that is way off the mark. There's obviously Led Zeppelin influenced the whole rock scene in that era,
yeah,
but no, Queen was already doing their own thing. They went. I think the only thing that they really truly had in common with Led Zeppelin was that they were willing to experiment and try all kinds of different things.
yeah,
And
yeah.
me, that's always a good thing. My Fairy King is a great example of that.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I'm really. I had initially my first list. Great King Rat was the only song I had from the debut on it. But the more I listened, I had to give some love to My Fairy King and Modern Times Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
I could have
Oh yeah.
easily done more, but I could have made an entire list just using the debut and jazz, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And by the way, like, because there were going to be 3 of us doing this, I picked, as I said to Bill before we started taping, I picked one as my main choice, and then I picked 2 alternates. So we are going to go through a couple of these alternates between us. Um, Sit back and enjoy, guys. Yeah, my Fairy King, the power of his vocals, just the interplay of the vocal and the guitar and the piano, very ethereal, just very like just amazing, amazing. I can't even describe it. It's a beautiful track. And again, it came out 2 years before Bohemian Rhapsody, right? So it's like there were elements of what was going to happen, of what was to come in the first 2 albums, right? So, but we must carry on, ladies and gentlemen. My number 4 is the Millionaire Waltz. Okay. Your pen's getting to work out now. From A Day at the Races. It's a waltz rock track, done in, obviously, the piano comes in 3/4 time, and the bass comes in, I guess, along with it, just like a step behind, like a step behind it, and and they sort of play together. They're sort of interwoven together, the bass and the piano track. Beautiful, beautiful. And Freddie does a fantastic soft vocal, and then when he gets into the midsection where the drums and the guitars kick in, and then he just screams, come, with me, my love, and all that. I'm not going to sing it because I can't do it, Freddie. I'd have to grab certain parts of me in order to get that high in a vocal, and I'm not going to do it tonight, so I'm not going to do it. But his delivery on that midsection, it is so searingly hot, white hot that he almost goes over the cliff and loses control, but then he pulls back. Right, like he's always in control, and then it goes back into the 3/4 section, the the waltz tempo, and then the guitars come in, and then they do one pass one time, and then when they repeat, they double track each other, right? And they're sort of slightly out of phase, so that it gets like the guitars are more thicker, more prominent, right? More of a stereo effect. It's just amazing, and it goes into different sections, right? You know, um, just a beautiful piece of history. It's art. Songs like Millionaire Waltz and Great King Rat and My Fairy King are basically art,
Yeah.
sonic art, and I just think it's a beautiful slab of um, of music that gets kind of swept under the rug, and I think it should be. I think it should have a spotlight put on it more. So
Oh yeah.
that's that's my number four.
Yeah, obviously I had that. I kind of thought that was going to be on your list, so I actually had it in my alternates because I figured you would pick it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think just a quick we were talking about My Fairy King. I said that kind of a precursor to Bohemian Rhapsody. A Day at the Races is the album immediately following A Night at the Opera, which had Bohemian Rhapsody, and the famous song from A Day at the Races is, of course, Somebody to Love, which I
Yeah.
absolutely adore. It's a masterpiece. But
Yeah.
The Millionaire Waltz, not Somebody to Love, is the song that should be really considered their follow up to Bohemian Rhapsody, the attempt to do something in that vein again, because it's a totally different song. It doesn't sound anything like Bohemian Rhapsody, but it has that same epic, all over the map, everything but the kitchen sink
Yeah.
vibe to it. So
Yeah.
yes, I agree. Excellent
Yeah,
choice.
yeah. The Millionaire Waltz has a good mixture of what I call, and this phrase is used quite a bit, but it's got a good mixture of light and shade.
Yes.
Where light for me is where the rock parts come in, like very heavy guitar, very rocking, and then the shade is more like the quiet parts, like when he sings like my fine friend, take me with you and love me forever. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it has a good combination of those two elements, right? It's just amazing. It's a piece of sonic art. I'm sorry, but
I think
I
what you said,
digress.
what you said about the light and shade, Derek. There are so many songs in this catalog that could fit. These guys were masters at that,
Yeah,
which is great. They don't get boring.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. All right. So let's see. My number three, correct?
Yes.
All right. I have not given John solo writing credit any love yet. So since I didn't get to pick It's Late from this album, I'm going to pick Spread Your Wings, which, wow, I, that, how is this not one of their big hits? I don't know. It's a
I don't
beautiful
know.
song. It's,
It also stalled on the charts in the US.
which is more of an indictment to the listeners than to the band, I think. But,
I agree.
yeah, this is a gorgeous song. Well, it's not John's first masterpiece. He already had at least one under his belt, but it is a masterpiece. This is one of his best songs, I think. And
Hmm.
Freddie nails the vocal for him. It's a very emotional song that it's basically about the everyman who's dreaming of escaping. And yeah, it gets me emotional singing along with it. I love singing along to this song.
Yeah,
And the bit about the boss trying to keep him down, basically telling, your dreams are never going to come true.
yeah,
Give it up. But he still keeps on dreaming anyway. So
yeah.
stop sweeping up the Emerald Bar. get on out of there. Spread your wings and fly away. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen to your boss.
Hmm. I agree.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, Mr. John Deacon, for a wonderful song.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um, so my number three is Brighton Rock. From Sheer Heart Attack from November of 74. Yes. Um, this starts off the album. The origins of this track date back to the Queen 2 days. This was going to be recorded for the Queen 2 album, but thematically, it really didn't fit in thematically, musically, with what was going on the album. As it starts off with the amusement park intro, which I believe that's public domain, that effect, that piece of tape. But and then it goes into the guitars on the intro. And then Freddie just come and the drums come in, and then Freddie comes in on the vocal doing it in falsetto. Again, I don't know what part of himself did he had to grab in order to get that and squeeze hard in order to get that vocal take, but man, does he nail it. And then it goes into the guitar solo in the midsection. And I think Brian May uses what's called the echoplex, where it's done in three different parts. Like it's a delayed effect that he does. So it starts off in the center in the center on the channel, and then it goes to the left, and then the right, or the right and then the left. I'm not sure, but that guitar solo for me, when I heard it, I was like 13, because I just my sister Anna bought me the album. Hi Anna, if you're watching, um, you better be watching. I just thought it was great, and the first time I heard Brighton Rock was on the Live Killers
Me too.
uh, album, which it clocked in at like just under 13 minutes. That solo for me, I know it by heart, air guitar, down pat. I'm not going to do it now, but I know it. It was amazing. It was amazing. And basically saying how this guy, you know, met this girl on a holiday, and you know, she thought she met the love of her life, but he's telling her, uh, my wife doesn't know what I've done. We have to keep this on the DL. So um but it's a fantastic piece of music. I just love it. I think it's great. I think it's great. And it's a lighter track. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Uh in terms of the excuse me, in terms of the vocal delivery. But I think it's great. It's a good rollicking track too. That's my number three.
I agree. I like Brighton Rock, and yeah, I heard it on Live Killers. I'm sure. Well, I know my parents had News of the World, because that was one of the first two albums from Queen that I really got into, uh, along with the debut that I had
Yeah.
forever.
Mm-hmm.
But to my memory, the live version from Live Killers is the one I heard first. So,
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of cool to find out much later. Apparently, the Hoople and Me reference in the lyric was to Mott the Hoople, that they were actually touring with Mott the Hoople at that point. So
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
kid, I had no clue, but it's neat to find out these little lyrical tidbits like that later
Yeah.
on.
These lone nuggets. Yeah, I know it's true. They were on the Queen 2 tour with Mount the Hoople, and the tour got cut short because Brian May came down with hepatitis when they were in Boston. So, yeah, it
All
was
right,
good.
let's see, number two, correct? Well, let's
I
see.
believe
I'll
so.
go. I'll go for the last one that was on my original list here. It's another Freddie song from their final album while he was alive. Meow,
Oh
meow.
my God.
Delilah.
Delilah. Okay. That's a deep cut.
Think this song This is adorable. When I was playing this earlier and he started meowing, Stacy looked at me like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
This I think is just a touching song. This man is literally dying, and he's writing a song to his beloved cat Delilah.
Yeah.
I mean, how heartbreaking but heartwarming also is that? Even if it does seem kind of silly, I think it's just very touching, and I found the meow pretty fun and amusing. So
Yeah.
yeah, cheers to Freddie for showing some love to Delilah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Nicely done.
And oh yeah, I mean, he fought. He demanded that that song be included on the album. Roger Taylor did not want it on the album, and he said years later, he's like, I cannot get behind Delilah. I'm sorry. Yes, I have writing credit on it, but I it's not one that I would ever listen to. But yeah, it's a good song. It's a cute song. It's heartwarming, right? It's um we must carry on, ladies and gentlemen. My number two is it's pretty heavy. It's the Prophet song. Um, bloody hell. Starts off side two of A Night at the Opera, 8 minutes, 17 seconds of pure majestic bliss. Amazing. Heaviest track that I've ever heard from them at that up to that point. Um, what can be said? The original title of the track was called "People of the Earth." It is Roy Thomas Baker's favorite track that they ever worked on. It's starts off very soft, like with the air conditioning effect on phasers, and then it uses the toy koto, the acoustic instrument from Japan that Brian May was given as a gift. Uh, Very heavy, very epic. The lyrics came to him from a dream that Brian May had. Very big, very bombastic. Uh, the midsection with the three, the where they use what's called a fugue, where they use the time delay machines. And what happened was Freddie Mercury was singing these lines, and it was being fed back to him through the tape delay, through into his headphones. So what he could do was ad lib the the vocals and sing 2 part or even 3 part harmony with himself. Okay. Some people, Ryan Gavalier, have said that, not that I'm calling people out, but I'm calling you out, Ryan, have said that, you could just get rid of that track, that part of the track, and move on to the rest of the track. Listen to me, watch me, read my lips. Hell no. Ain't gonna happen, and it shouldn't happen. This song is structured the way it is for a reason. Okay, lyrically, maybe biblical in nature, but who the hell cares? Okay, it is heavy, it is majestic, ornate, complicated, intricate, whatever way you want to describe it. It is what it is, and is beautiful. It is another piece of sonic art, and there's no other way around it. There's no way that you could edit this down. If they even tried, there would be a revolt, I think. I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful track, bombastic as all hell, majestic as all hell, and it deserves to be praised a lot more. And that's my number two.
Well, I was wondering what your number two was going to be, and now I know. Now I
Yeah,
know. Now I know. Now I
that's
know.
exactly it.
There you
That's
go,
exactly it.
Ryan.
There you go. There you go. But let me
Yes.
just a little side note. It how let me ask you as a fan, could you edit that track down?
No. No more than you should edit It's Late or Bohemian Rhapsody or any of these songs. They're meant to be the way
A
that
cup of tea to you.
artists recorded them.
Yeah, we're tea drinkers here in this house, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, yeah, no,
I'm
I
two-fisted. I have the tea over here. So
there you go, there you go. No, I don't know where you would edit it or how you could.
I just don't think you should. Just, I mean, yeah, that would be. I mean, what are you going to do? Take the Mona Lisa and decide, well, let's take this eye out. We don't need that.
J- And and, and yeah, and just a little side note, this song they were still when they had to play this back, do a playback of the album to the media for the release. This song was still in its um, uh, arranging stages. So Kenny Everett, the DJ who worked for BBC and Capital Radio, who plugged Bohemian Rhapsody for them, stole a copy of this track of the Prophet song in its unfinished version and played it on the radio before it was even ready to be heard. And Brian May heard this and he goes, is this happening? Like he thought he was dreaming, and he was quite pissed that he stole the tape and he played it on the radio, right? So it is what it is. It is perfection. So I mean, that's all I got to say. So
Yeah, I knew you were going to pick that song, so I didn't even put it on my list or my alternate list because I figured you were absolutely going to pick that one.
oh really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, as I said, you already picked my number one, which would have been It's Late. So I'm going to hit my alternate list and I'm going to go completely different direction for a Freddie and Brian co-write, which is extremely rare, of course, from the first new Queen album that I bought as a fan,
Mhm.
The Works. And this is this barely over 2 minute song, this little acoustic gem that closes out the album. It's Is This the World We Created? It's very unlike everything else on this largely bombastic album with electronic tracks and all kinds of very 80s stuff on it. This is just a little mellow throwback, and it's a beautiful song. It's a great lyric,
Yeah.
and it's sad but hopeful. I don't know. It gives me a very melancholy vibe, but makes me feel a little less alone at the same time. I yeah, it's just a lovely song. I just wanted to give it a little spotlight.
Yeah, no, it deserves it.
Yeah, they don't always have to be over the top and overproduced and have everything but the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can have just the kitchen sink and that's good enough.
Or just the bidet. I mean, it just
Yeah.
there you go. There you go. No, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. My number one, ladies and gentlemen, is from Queen 2, The March of the Black Queen. Again, another 6 minute plus opus as he crosses it off his list.
It was on my alternate list, but I was pretty certain you were going to pick that one too. So that's why I put it on the alternate instead of the main.
Yeah. From Queen 2 on Side Black. Every track on Side Black was written by Freddie Mercury. Just a multi-part track. There's 11 parts to this song. It's some people say it's prog rock, some people a progressive rock, some people say it isn't. um I would say this is a progressive rock track because you have um ascending vocal lines, descending piano lines, crossing one another, just different time signatures going off, eight time signatures, 8/12 time signatures, um polyrhythmic time signatures and polymetric time signatures going off at the same time. It is what it is. It's fantastic. The guitar work is amazing. There's that midsection where it's just Freddie doing the triple tracked a cappella section that comes in, where it says, "A voice from behind me reminds me, spread out your wings, you are an angel." You know, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. It is majestic. It is epic in its scope and its production. Uh, I've always loved it. Could I hit those high notes after puberty? No. Could I hit them before puberty? Possibly. Who knows? I did try my best, but I never cracked any mirrors from doing that. But it's just a beautiful, very grandiose track. Um, and it defies description. And if for any of you who have not listened to the March of the Black Queen, listen to it. Go listen to it. This was one of Taylor Hawkins' favorite tracks from the band. Taylor Hawkins, drummer of Foo Fighters, who passed away a couple of years ago, loved Queen, and it deserves more love and more attention than what it's been getting over the years. And yeah, that's my number one.
Really, that I know in here in the States for sure, that whole album in general tends to be swept under the rug and forgotten
Yeah,
because it didn't have a hit here.
yeah,
I know Seven Seas of Rye, the full version was a hit elsewhere, but definitely not here in the States.
yeah,
So yeah, this kind
yeah.
of came and went.
Although, yeah, Queen 2 did hit 49 on the Billboard charts. The debut hit number 85. So they were slowly making their way up at that point, right? But yeah, yeah. I mean, just a quick side note, according to Roger Taylor, when they were doing the overdubs and trying to get this thing done, they ran the tape through the machine so many times there was no oxide left on the tape. It was literally clear, like transparent. So they were losing ideas. They were losing some passages that they had to re-record and get it transferred over. Doing as they call it the bounce. They were bouncing them over to other tracks, right? To preserve them. So yeah, um, it is. It's a beautiful track. It's the centerpiece of the album for me. So it's my number one.
Kind of wonder what those guys could have done when the four of them were together if they had today's technology, or if maybe it would have hurt their creativity if maybe they wouldn't have had to try so hard to innovate.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, and, literally the sky's the limit. So, I mean, you don't know, right? I mean, so,
It's fun to think about.
yeah, it's true. It is. It is. So do you have? Okay, I know you had an alternate list. Is there anything remaining from your alternate list that you want to mention?
I still have I still have four songs left on my alternate. I could just kind of quickly read through the.
Okay.
I had two more contenders from jazz, though. Again, I could have easily added more.
Yeah.
Brian's song "Leaving Home Ain't Easy."
Yeah.
And, Brian, the heavy rocker, with this lovely mellow song.
Poignant. Yeah.
Yeah. And also "In Only 7 Days" from John Deacon.
Yeah.
Uh, Another very mellow song, which they're both just pretty uh, heartfelt songs. I've just always really enjoyed them. They fit in nicely between the more
Okay.
rocking songs on that album. Um, Another one I almost didn't want to include it as a deep cut, even though it was never a hit. Just it seems like it should have been. That's "Death on Two Legs." Uh, Another one of those Freddie kiss off songs that, yeah, really castigates a certain individual.
Yeah. Won't
The,
name names.
yeah, the
Yeah.
lyrics on that are great, and yeah, again, it's quite a rocker. And the last one is another Freddie song, which oddly enough, uh, here's my confession as a Queen fan. Even though I was already a Queen fan when Innuendo came out, I didn't buy it until many years later. I heard
Mhm.
Headlong on the radio, and I had seen a couple of the others on video channels. Um, but yeah, for whatever reason, I never bought it until many years later. So my initial listen to this song was a cover version by an artist called Lana Lane. And she covered a song called Don't Try So Hard,
Oh,
which
okay.
I thought was a cool cover choice because it was nowhere near an obvious. If you're going to cover one Queen song, who's really going to cover Don't Try So Hard?
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, that's just a very well written song. Though even when I hear it now, I still hear Lana Lane's version as much as I hear,
Queen's version, yeah.
yeah, which is kind of strange. But yeah, that's my Queen confession there as a fan. I hang my head in shame.
It's fine. It's fine. We still love you. Don't worry about it. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, and yet I bought Made in Heaven when it came out. Go
Okay,
figure. I didn't get Innuendo until after Made in Heaven. I can't explain it. It's one of those weird things.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I know that. Don't try so hard. I mean, that is a good track off of Innuendo. Um, my I'm not going to name all of them because I have quite a list here, but I'm not going to name all of them. Um, from the game Rocket Prime Drive. Some people hate that song, Ryan. Um, I love it. I think it's great. Just a good balls to the wall, straightforward rock track with a guitar solo that kicks ass, really. Other alternates, Liar from Queen One starts off side two. Again, Electra releasing a 3 minute, 18-second version of a song that's originally 6 minutes, 30 seconds plus. What in the hell were you thinking? Anyways, moving on. Other songs of note: Ogre Battle from Queen 2, White Queen from Queen 2, Sheer Heart Attack from News of the World, Get Down, Make Love from News of the
Yeah.
World, In the Lap of the Gods from Sheer Heart Attack. Both first one and revisited. Bring Back That Leroy Brown. Uh, Fun It, from Jazz. Love of My Life.
Yeah.
Here's an at the opera. Um, Teo Toriate from A Day at the Races. Um, and Party from The Miracle. And ending it off with The Hitman from Innuendo. Balls to the wall, heavy as shit rock track with bloody blistering guitars from Brian May and heavy drums from Roger Taylor and Freddie just delivering a hell of a vocal, just screaming into the mic. And he was quite sick at this point. So the fact that he could get enough strength in his lungs to just give that much emotion into a track like The Hitman. Um, and I'm going to give a bit of love to Roger Taylor. Ride the Wild Wind from Innuendo ends up side one. Treated drums or not, who gives a shit? It is what it is. It's a good, get in the car, just drive, and just get away from whatever you're dealing with. If you need to get away from it. And, you'll always go back to it and deal with your problems after. But that's my honorable mentions list. So it's
Just
quite the list.
to give Stacy a moment to be a critic here. Ride the Wild Wind, when that played earlier, that's the one song that she commented on, and it was negative. She pretty well took that song apart bit by bit and was like, there's nothing here to this. Yes. So she would definitely disagree with your choice of Ride the Wild Wind. And she
I
she is a Queen fan in general. So
I forgive you, Stacy. Anyways, let's just Hopefully she'll watch this part.
Oh,
So anyways, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our top 10 Queen deep cut tracks. Um, again, we did not mention Bohemian Rhapsody, Under Pressure, any of the hits, Fat Bomb Girls, anything like that. These were just our deep cuts. So, for all of you out there watching this, please put down in the comments your list of top 10 deep cuts from Queen. And yeah, I want to thank Bill for joining in on this episode. It was fun.
yes, it was. Sorry Peter couldn't be here. I hope he puts his top 10 in.
Yeah, it's unfortunate Peter could not join us, but I'm sure he'll be watching the episode. And yeah, Peter, please put your comments, put your list down below in the comment section, and let us know what your list is, because you gave us the idea for this episode, and thank you for that. So for Mr. Bill Schuster, I'm Armando Venditti. Just a quick note, I will be doing an episode with Ryan Gavalier on an album discussion on Stevie Nicks' Belladonna, her debut solo release. Just a general album discussion. It's going to be interesting. And I didn't mention this to Bill before we started taping, but Bill and I, along with Ryan Gavalier, are going to be doing an album discussion at some point on Roger Waters' Dark Side of the Moon Redux, or Redo, however you want to call it. Ryan has decided to join in on that discussion. It's going to be a hell of a discussion. So for all of you out there, please tune in for those episodes that are coming up in the near future. Again, I want to thank Mr. Bill Schuster for joining in and giving us his list. So for Mr. Bill Schuster, I am Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good Saturday night. It is Halloween weekend. Please, if you're at parties and you're having a good time, please look after yourselves. Please be safe. Don't have too good of a time, and you know what I mean by that. And get home safely and enjoy your time out. So I will say goodbye for now. We will see you soon with another video. Bye for now.